on to you that why I feel like to plan this session with all of you and share it with the world. That right now, what time is going on, this time uh, seems like has never happened in the history before like this. There has been the pandemics, and they have been dealt with very different way. But somehow, this type of restrictions, this type of way to handle these things has never happened before. And I don't think so that in this large, okay, is everybody can hear me? Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. So in this vast continent of like vast world, all the people have not been inside of the house like that. How this time is going on, and how people are dealing with their health, which we know, how the mental issues are coming forward, how emotions are taking place in this time in the whole world. We all know it. Hmm? So, the idea of this session is that knowing this situation is going on into the world, yes, yoga has been taken as a spiritual journey, and yoga is a spiritual journey. We don't deny it. There is a whole map how this spiritual journey has to happen. But I'm not here to talk about that spiritual journey today because might that is in the end, but not right now. Right now, it's how to maintain the health of the body, how to deal with the mind, and how I can really by myself handle my emotions. I think that is the issue right now in the world going on. And I am here with this session with all of you, with teacher, with students to share that how yoga can be a big help in that. Forget self-realization right now. Okay. I'm not denying that self-realization is not the part of yoga, but I feel like vast majority need the benefits of yoga on ground level, not on the sky level. Ground level means how I can be healthy, how I can find a way with yoga to the happiness, and how that these emotions which are bubbling up within me, what is the way to handle them? Hmm? Hope you will be agree with this my talk that what we are bringing out here right now, how yoga can be a help to this human in this pandemic to deal with this situation. So we are here to talk about that. Hmm? And we are here to discuss the tools that what tools yoga have, how they can apply right now in this world. When a person is in the lockdown, when a person is not able to go out, when the person is sitting in the home, and when the future seems like what is going to happen, how yoga can be a self management. Hmm? Okay, understood everyone? How yoga can be self management in this time for you. And if you're a teacher and online giving classes, how you can help your students. Hmm? And how, if you are in family, how you can actually help your family member. So no need to do crazy things. How yoga has been popularized on the Instagram that put one leg behind other head and other head. That does not seem like help the human right now. Hmm? Pushing myself into unnecessary some gymnast things is not going to help in this situation. It is going to create more problem. So right now, what yoga is has to come in its reality. And reality was, which traditionally coming forward, unless it was hijacked by Instagrammer. Sorry for my words. Until it hijacked. Sorry for my words if you are on Insta, but it's without any problem with anyone. I'm just saying that yoga has changed its shape. Rather than becoming a self management, a tool for a normal person, it has become something else. So we are not going to talk about that at all. So the talk is going to properly focus on this subject. And after my talk, your question will be welcomed on this topic. Hmm? So we are going to start the topic in such a way that this world in human and outside consists duality. Consists duality. There is a positive and there is a negative. And they exist where? Where this positive exists and where this negative exists. They both exist within me. They are not outside of me. So I consist of positive and negative both within me. So if negative is there, it's indicating that somewhere positive is hidden within me. I have to try for it. If there is a stress and tension, this is negative. It means relaxation and bliss also exist within me. That has to be very clear first on the point that if I go through stress and tension, which is I am used to, I am totally familiar with this taste of stress and tension within me. So it is indicating that opposite is also hidden behind it. If there is any problem within me I am facing, solution is also hidden behind this problem. It is not out, it is within me. That has to be very clear. So whatever negativity I am right now finding within me in this time, is it a frustration? So it means peace is also hidden behind this frustration. I must know how to approach that. So all this negative and positive are together. They cannot be separate. This has to be understood first when we are talking to yoga on this level. So yoga is a journey. Yoga is a method within me how finding this negative, it is there. Rather than finding with it, what tools I can use so I can just shift behind this negative. If I will say sickness is within me, it means health is also within me. So they are not separate. First, we have to understood it very clearly that what we are finding, it's not outside, it is within us. So whatever we are feeling in this time, so we must know how to use yoga to find the opposite of that. And yoga is that journey. So let's say negative is within you, that is also yourself. Positive is within you, that is also yourself. And the journey, my computer is showing me your internet is unstable. Is everybody can hear me? Good. So understood it. Negative is also myself. Positive is also myself. The journey I am going to take from the negative is positive. Who is going to take that journey? Also myself. So yoga is a journey from self to the self to the self. You know that quote. But understand what is the meaning of that quote. You are negative, that is also yourself. You are positive, you are also yourself. Then who is taking that journey is also you. So all is happening within the self. Is it clear to everyone what I'm saying? Understood it clearly? So now we can move forward from there. So once this I have clearly understood. So it means now I have to understood how yoga can become that vehicle. Yoga means all the 8 limbs of yoga. How they can become a vehicle to take me from negative to positive. I'm just going to talk about that because there is a state beyond the positive also. We don't want to talk about that yet. We just want how this negative, the alchemy, the process, how this negative can be transformed into the positive through the help of yogic system, through yogic methods, through asana, through pranayama, through meditation, through all the rules, moral code, yam and niyam, which is given by the Kriya Yoga, the action yoga, which we call. Hmm? So we are going on to this journey today. So that is going to be, according to me, it is going to be very beautiful. Then when this whole thing is going to clear and this map is clear within you and you have the tools, okay, I can do something. Because in this situation, what we are in, two things are possible. What are those two things? COVID is happening. Tourists are not allowed anywhere. Countries are closed. Things are happening. I am in home. So this situation has come. I have not created it, but it has come. So the first approach is, okay, this situation is there. What I can do? So, okay, I can't do anything. So then be miserable, be tense. We can complain, we can argue, we can be in tense state because now this is this, what I can do. So that, like I am becoming victim of this thing. That is one possibility. But other possibility also exists. Okay, this has happened. The situation is there, how I can deal with it. Now we must know in this time how this yogic understanding can help me to deal with this situation, what I am today. So that I need to make up my mind for that, that I am going to deal with this situation. Why I'm saying that? I just want to share one experience, which mostly I share in my training, that I was working with Cancer Society Malaysia, and there was a doctor who was treating the cancer patient. And I asked the doctor that who survive and who don't have any chance to survive in this career. Have you noticed that what are the qualities of survivors are there and what are the qualities of those who don't survive? So she was silent for a moment. Then she told me, Deep, actually when a person come to know that I have this situation, and if they give up, oh my God, what I can do, and they go down and crying and complaining the situation and create problem, don't want to do anything, very less chance to survive. Okay, then who survive? Those survive who said, okay, this has happened, now tell me what to do, tell me what I can do. So they do the medication, they change their lifestyle, they do those things which are needed for the body, they change their diet, and they are fully involved in that process. Actually, those people survive. Now, I am bringing this situation here right now, that if I come down in this situation, okay, I'm finished. Actually, that attitude will finish my health, finish my peace, finish my happiness, and then finally it will bring more problems for me. But if I can take a decision, okay, this has happened, done, what I can do right now. So I can put myself, if you are into yoga, so you can put yourself into yogic process, then I will say that you will be the best survivor. You will enjoy and you can help yourself. You can help who are near you. You can help as a teacher to your students also. Hmm? So I think this is enough background what I'm going to talk to, and then we can enter into this process. Hmm? So as I was saying, that yoga has tools. Tools. Those tools can be used in any way we want for spiritual growth and for health, both together. So the first tool which Patanjali has given, the tool is Yama. Hmm? The Yama, I will just explain in a simple thing. Yama means that you are determined to give a direction to yourself. That is the first tool. That okay, I write down. I decided that I am going to give a positive way to my energy. I am determined to it. I take that decision. So that decision we call yama. And in that decision, first step Patanjali gave, please understand this very carefully, non-violence. Non-violence is the first tool. I will call it a tool. Because the journey is this. A person who is violent towards himself, herself, is not going to be healthy. That has to understood. The first tool is non-violence. And if a person is violent, is not going to be healthy at all. So first thing is, I must understand what is non-violence and how I can use this tool, in which way. Let's talk a little bit about it, then we move further. Non-violence means changing my life pattern. In which way? In which way we are going to change our pattern from violence to non-violence? It means I am actively appreciating myself. Let's say that. In this moment, this is very much important. I am actively appreciating myself. Okay, you make a cup of tea for yourself. It can be made like, oh my God, I have to do that. Or you can appreciate yourself. Okay, I'm going to make this cup of tea with the appreciation towards me. Are you getting me? So that is the tool there. This is the tool. Like you actively do it. You actively sitting right now, appreciate yourself that, okay, I gave myself time to listen to this talk. I appreciate my body. I appreciate my listening capacity. So that appreciation to yourself is non-violence. Because most of the time in this time, what is happening when students are coming and talk to me, that anything they are doing, actually somewhere a condemnation, a tension is there, whatever is happening. So that is building up, building up, building up. So now actively I choose to change it. So that is the thing we have to say, that I must actively appreciate myself in this time. What I am doing, what situation I'm going through, it's okay. Let's take small step about it. So that step will create non-violence towards yourself. That is the first tool. Like, okay, you want to, a student is coming to you or your family member is coming to you. I'm going through this tension. I'm going through this problem. Okay, what should I do right now? So yoga has given a tool, non-violence. Okay, finding out how many ways I'm violent, how many ways I'm condemning myself. So then you can write down, number one, please start appreciating right now. Say some good words to yourself, please, right now. I want from all of you. Say some good words to yourself for appreciation. Loudly say it to yourself, not silently. Appreciate your presence. Yes. Something you have done for that. I will say that you have survived in this journey and come to this point. Ah, it's good. At least appreciate that I'm sitting here. So that first point has to be given as a practical tool. Saying yes to the body is very important as a non-violence. Saying yes to my body, it's okay. Saying yes to my mind, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, my mind has done something, some thoughts are coming. Rather than saying something, saying yes to it. So in that way, we are going to create first tool. So that is the first tool. Then we will understood how the asana you can create around it. Then the second rule is of yama is truth. Now that is very important. Truth is very healing. Truth is very good for your body and mind to nurture. That we will understood right now. Truth means whatever I am feeling right now in this moment or any moment or when the moment of stress and tension is coming. hmm, And anytime some things are coming within me. So now I have all these things within me. Let's say in this moment, stress is happening, tension is happening. Okay. What attitude I can take towards this stress, tension, and anxiety? That is very important. One attitude is this, why it is coming. Now that is not truth. Something is happening and I am denying it. In that deny, there is a fight. Why it is coming? It should not be. Why this is happening? So that is not the truth. The truth is, right now I am tense. Right now I am not feeling good. Right now this is happening. So the truth is that, is it possible that I can close my eyes and I can contact with this? Okay, stress is there. Let me contact my stress. What I can do for it now? Are you getting me what I'm saying? Rather than becoming a victim, rather than becoming a thing, like what I can do for it? Like keeping a close contact. Why I'm saying keeping a close contact? Because that is a tool. Unless you are not friend with someone, is it possible to be with them in a easy way? No. If you're not friend with someone, it will be very hard to be ease and in a beautiful way with them. We need a friendliness to them. Is it possible that I can be friendly to this? Okay, whatever is happening within me, I'm going to be a friend with this. So now, when I am friend with this, I am in a contact with this, what solution I can give it to it? Now the third chapter come in that. The third is Astya. Astya mean in a healing way I'm saying, because there are many meanings, but I'm bringing it to the body. Astya means expression, your own expression. Your contact with your stress, anxiety, everything, no worry. I want to be with it. It's okay. Now, third step of Yama, I'm going to give a direction of expression. That is Astya, my own expression, which is not told by someone. Okay, what is the meaning of that? This is very beautiful. If you understood this, it will be a very beautiful active tool to deal with this, what I'm coming in contact with. Now, when you come in contact, you have to find a tool of your expression. And you have to help your family, you have to help your student to find expressive tool. For many, if you find it out, maybe their expressive tool is singing. Maybe their expressive tool is dancing. Maybe their expressive tool is painting. Maybe their expressive tool is just standing and shake the body. Maybe expressive tool is go to the room and shout. Like what is the true expression coming to you right now? That time we have to give this stress and anxiety a active direction, because it is the same energy. Remember, energy is the same. If there are staircase, you can go higher the staircase or lower the staircase. Staircase is the neutral. So energy is neutral. If it is into the stress and anxiety, if you give it expressive tool, the energy will move upward. Is everybody getting me? Understanding me? So expressive tool you have to find. That is the third step of Yama. That you have to find it out. That maybe somebody is a dancer. Right now, I can certainly feel dance. So this is coming, and I am being in contact with it, truth, not denying it, not pushing it, not forcing it, not changing it. I'm in contact with the fact that, okay, this is there. Now, okay, no problem. I want to give expressive tool to this stress and tension is dance. On the music, start dancing. It means you have to do something for it. You can't sit and wait, it will go. So that is the third tool. Or yoga posture will be also help in that. We will talk about it. This all you will understand why yoga postures are divine and how they can help. Now, the third, you understood that you have to find expressive tool. If you can't find, is okay. We will talk about something later on. The fourth is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya has been translated as celibacy, but I'm not saying it is celibacy, okay? Because it is a wrong explanation. If you enjoy it, enjoy. You celebrate. No need to celebrate. Celebrate this if it is there. Enjoy it. But what is the meaning of brahmacharya mean? Brahma mean expansion and charya mean in your daily life. Now that is the step. First, you have to find a self-expression for something to deal with it. Now, if you are doing something, how this expansion can happen for you? That is the fourth number, and what you can do for it. That is very, very beautiful step there. Brahmacharya means expansion in your daily life. To understand that, I'm going to give you a tool right now to use it. As you are right now, please contact your feet. Bring your whole energy with your 2 feet. Bring your attention with your belly right now after the feet. Now bring your attention to the head. Stay with your head. Now contact your breath. Okay, slowly open your eyes. I'm sure you have felt something within you when you are contacting yourself like that. What happened within? Suddenly, a silence happening. And that state of silence is expansion. So, what I can do to be into this state? Peace. Good. So, anytime you find it out that you are in your daily life and these things are coming to you, what I can do? Immediately contact with your body. Immediately. Don't give a chance the mind to move on. You do something, effort to be with your feet, effort to be with your belly, effort to be with your head, effort to be with your breath, or at the moment, whatever you are doing, be total in it. You're driving a car, no problem. Be total in it. Feel the steering, feel the feet, feel all around you what is happening. Be present in there. Like force yourself to be present, and you will see what is happening. Yoga will give you a tool to come out of this. So that is brahmacharya. You must train yourself. You must train your student. You must train your family member. Anytime these negative patterns are coming, don't worry. Give them expression. Or if you find out there is no time for that and you are in your daily life situation, contact with the body. And if you have a family member nearby you, hug them. Hugging is a best way to become present. That's why we love hugging, because when we hug, our thoughts stop. And thought is create. When thought goes on, it's a negative state. So the moment you hug someone, in that moment inside is in a peace. So hugging is also an expansion in your daily life. Hug a tree. Something is happening within and you don't know how to deal with it. You can't do the first, second, third step. Don't worry. Near is a tree. Hug the tree. Be with the tree. It is possible. Or any plant in your house, just hold the plant. Or if you're a dog in the house, hug the dog. Anything is present within me. I must know how in a yogic way I can use it to come from negative to positive state. It can be anything, like which you like. Or again, I'm saying whatever you're doing, if you're making a tea, if you're doing some work, then try to be present in that work. Or if that is not happening, for a moment, stop everything, close your eyes and contact with your feet, contact with your belly, contact with your head, contact with your breath. And suddenly you will find what you experience right now, that state will be around you. And that is a yogic direction you are giving to your life. Or if nothing possible, posture, I will let you know how to use for all of them, because posture has a big role to play. Now, the last part coming into that, non-possessiveness. Aparigraha, we call it. Aparigraha. So the meaning of this is translated in English is non-possessiveness, but that is not the real meaning. It gives a very different color to this word. So the meaning of this aparigraha means active sharing. In this time, I want to translate it for you as a active sharing. What you have, share. Why I'm saying that? In this time, that is a profound expansion and healing. Somebody need food in this time. And if you have capacity, maybe you have $100 and $5 you can spend for someone food, do it actively. Not even that, $1, it's okay. Spend it for someone welfare. Maybe in the street there are dogs and you have some food. I don't know here it happen or not in your place, but here it happen easily that, okay, you give food to some dogs and that is there. Sometimes the beggar is there, okay, no problem. I don't know what is going to happen. This beggar is right or wrong, but maybe need food, give them food. So that is non-possessive. Whatever I have, I'm sharing, I'm not possessing it. That is a profound healing. Your inner will expand and enter into a very beautiful state with the sharing. Like if you find someone is in stress and tension, maybe your call can help them. Maybe a joke. Maybe a joke can help someone in this time and they need it. Give it. Somebody need, I'm not saying give your whole time, but maybe in a day, if 5, 10, 15 minutes, I'm here. So is it okay now? Connection? Something is happening. All right. So actively sharing. Actively sharing. Understood, everyone? Sharing your time a little bit with, sharing your food a little bit, sharing your attention a little bit. That a little bit sharing from a non-motive space. I don't have any motive in it. I'm not looking anything from the beggar. Non-motive. It is a therapeutic tool for, like in India, sometimes we say if somebody is really feeling not good inside or something, we tell them, okay, take some wheat or some food and give it to the birds. Like some those seeds, share it with the birds. Okay, just a moment. I am breaking. Is it okay now? Everyone can hear me? Sorry. So that is the 5 things are there, which is direction to the life. Like with the first step, with the second step, with the third, with the fourth, with fifth, actively you are making a change. And then there is a second. Second we call niyama. Like first is you are giving direction to the body and direction to your energy. And the second is now niyama. Niyama is a beautiful tool. It's a beautiful tool to work on yourself and to work on others. We call it Saucha, mean purity. Now you have to come to your body now again. It means if in this situation happening, what kind of food will be good for me? That has to be taken care. What kind of food is very important. Very, very important, healthy and good food in this time. So my mind can be peaceful. If my food is junk, if my food is something like all unnatural food, that is not going to give me the peace of mind. So it means in this time, I must be very choosy for my food, that I must eat good and healthy. That I leave up to you. Second, mind purity. What I am reading in this moment is very important, that I must read some inspirational books, a tool. I must read some good books which inspire me. Because whatever we read, it will impact our brain, our mind. So I must work on me and other, finding some videos, finding some talks, finding something which every day I read and it becomes food for my mind. If you keep watching every day horror movie, your mind will be fed with a very different way and it will be fear. And if I every day watching some good things, reading some good things, it means my mind is going to prepare like that then. And it is very unconscious process. So I must actively choose it. And the third we call heart purity. Heart purity mean what? Actively choosing what I'm going to say. And for that, yoga postures also help. Friendliness. Actively choosing cheerfulness. Even you have to fake it. You fake it. In laughter yoga, we say fake it, fake it, fake it until you make it. So fake something doesn't matter. In this time, don't think, okay, oh my God, I'm faking. No, it's a habit. Whatever habit, it's all our habits. Maybe some habits I'm carrying from the childhood, some habit I'm carrying now. Why not to create a new habit? And we human have all the power to create new habit. There's a Dr. Bruce Lipton, you know about him. He has talked about, the how to rewire your brain. So what is the meaning of that? Create new habits. So in yoga, we say that there is a one thing which you need to create. It will solve all. And that is active cheerfulness. On the music. Do something. Maybe just inhale and give a big laughter. Maybe sometime in psychology it has said, go in front of a mirror and take a pen or something in your mouth and do like that, the habit of smile will be there and it will change your psychology. These are the things are there. So what I can do to cheer myself? Maybe in the morning, a cup of coffee cheer you, please do that. Maybe sometime to me, like I wake up in the morning, move my body a little bit and handstand. I just go to my and go to a wall and straight inversion. And it actually cheer me up suddenly because blood flow up and down and whole body is open, whole mind is open. Or you can do downward facing dog. I will come to the posture. So that cheerfulness I have to create, and that I need to write it down. What I can do for that. You need to ask your student, to ask yourself, what are the things cheers you with yourself? Getting it, everyone? Good. So write it down. These are the tools which we must use. And then after purity comes contentment. We call it santosha. Now, contentment is a not a mental thing, it is also practical thing. It means now write down for yourself what are you thankful for in this moment. Like for me, a few days back, my throat was not feeling good. And because of throat, I got a little bit fever and I was like, my God, I got COVID maybe. But it was not COVID. One day I was like that. Second day I was okay. So I was actually thankful. Nothing matters right now what is happening. I am healthy. My God, that is more than enough because if I am not healthy, then everything else doesn't matter. So when after sickness I become healthy, I said, go to hell, whatever is happening, I don't know. I am thankful because I am healthy. Yes, whatever I can do for someone, I will do, but I want to be thankful that I am healthy. Are you getting it? Please understand this, that these things we need to take care of ourselves. And if we take care of ourselves, then we can be help to others. Otherwise, not. So thankful for it. Hmm? So I was again, sometime we don't know our inside feels suddenly tense without any reason because habit is there. I found out within me also sometime. Like today morning, I was, after a time, I was feeling my inside is building some kind of tension because mind is working. What is this? What is this? So what I did a gentle forward bend practice, kind of a movement and then kind of a yin practice, more forward bend. And moving into the forward bend, my mind, my brain calmed down. So I was thankful for this practice. Santosha means actively write it down that what are the things I am right now thankful for. Actively, we have to do it. We have to remind ourselves again and again. Why, I will let you know later. Then the third is simplicity, is a tapas. Now, how simplicity for me can be a tool in this time so I can actually manage my mind. Hmm? So in that way, the meaning, if we go to the spiritual journey, is very different and we are not taking it right now. We just want to find it out that how this simplicity can be practiced right now in this time. Now, for simplicity to be practiced, I must enter into the not having a tooth. Yes, 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 true, true that. So, in this moment, how I can enter into my simplicity, that I need to do it. Simplicity means a state of rest, a state of relaxation. That is simplicity, because the moment tension comes, complexity comes, I'm not simple. So how to enter into the state of the rest right now? Actively doing it. What tool I can use for it? All the tools are we are using it and they are leading us here. Okay, one thing. Doing few things, again, the movement is coming forward, doing few things which I want to do. Please understand it. I'm not doing it to show. I'm not doing it to get attention. I'm not doing it to do any other motive. A action which I want to do. If I say to you, any action which you want to do right now, what you will do to rest yourself? Hmm? Non-active, huh? Active rest. We need to do something, because you go down like that, mind will start working. I'm not talking about the body. I'm talking about the mind. You can lie down, but mind will keep going on. Close eyes, smile, breathe. Good. I'm going to give you one tool which can put you into rest very easily. Take a pen, take a copy, write it down what your mind is thinking. Like some thoughts are going on, some emotions are going on. Take a pen, take a copy, write it down. Write it down. Keep writing what is cover is coming. And then don't allow anyone to read it. Otherwise, you can't relax. then you burn it. That is an active tool to be simple. Simple means whatever is happening within me, I am consciously bringing it front of me. So there is no complexity. I'm not hiding it. There is no complexity. I'm not trying it to create any complexity. Complexity means I'm hiding it, or I'm trying to do according to it. So just a simple exercise actively can help to enter into this relaxation of simplicity. And after, once you have write it down, then you read it. And you read it. Why? This is the best tool to laugh on myself, what I am thinking. Are you getting it? The best laughter meditation is when I laugh on my own absurdity, like what the hell I'm thinking. What is these feelings are coming there? And a humor on myself is the best humor. When you can laugh on yourself, we call that is the laughter of a Buddha, laughter of a awakened one. Only awakened ones laugh on themselves. Who are not awakened, they laugh on others. So this is a process also. So laugh on myself, unnecessary. What future problem I am thinking? What happening? What things are happening with me? What it is clear to me, and you will laugh on it. It will put you into simplicity rest. A reactive tool has to be used. And after that simplicity, there is a self-study. Now, self-study is a very beautiful tool after this simplicity tool. Now, once you have write yourself down, and you know, my God, what is this? Now, in that moment, swadhyaya, in that moment, close your eyes. In that moment, when you know, my God, this is all is happening, and swadhyaya means what is within me right now when I know all of this. That is the first step. But then swadhyaya means I have to now actively put this swadhyaya into my life. What does that mean? Actively putting swadhyaya into your life. Imagine right now you are listening to me. What is happening within you right now? Be aware about it. This is active self study. You don't need to write it down. Write it down when you are alone. But Swadhyaya means when you are with someone, then also you make it a tool. Okay, I met this person, how I feel inside. I call this person, how I feel inside. How my inner is actually behaving. Actively put into the practice whenever you remember it. And in yoga practice, okay, I did this pose, actively Swadhyaya, how I feel with it. I did this breathing technique, actively how I feel with it. I did meditation, how actively I am. So that is a continuous process which is actively you're reminding yourself. And the last step in Niyama is surrender. Now, once this has happened, how to put surrender into our daily practice then? Only when you have followed this, you are going through this, then this step can be very beautifully understood. Or actually, if you understood this one step actively, then it can help you to understand all the steps of this. This one, surrender. Actively surrender is also there, which we will work on it. Yes, nothing lasts, this too shall pass. Positive affirmation to yourself again. Reminding yourself all the time that it's okay. Let me say, if you can wholeheartedly say it's okay right now as it is, it's surrender. So it can be a meditation active too. You can close your eyes and you can say, it's okay. It's okay. I want you to do it right now. Close your eyes for a moment and look within and say to your body, contact with your body and say, it's okay. Contact to your breath and say, it's okay as it is. Say to your thoughts as it is, it's okay. You are actively saying it. Say to your emotion, it's okay. What type of vibe you create, that kind of things we attract also. So if you go through this, your aura will be different and it will attract something different. So these are the two first steps of yoga. Now you must understand that why they are there. Most of the time, now you have to understand very scientifically, I'm going to explain you. Humans are 80% water or 90% water. 80%, 80%, huh? Let's say 80%. I don't know 80 or 90, 80. So what is the natural quality of the water is to flow down. So to go down for human is very natural because we are 80% water. And our emotions, our all this energy is also channelized through water. We have a water substance and these emotions are energy. These thoughts are energy. And as water flow down, these energies very easily go down. That is a scientific thing you have to understand a yoga from a very different point of view. And if you want to bring this water up, what do? You use a water pump. Now these all methods are a water pump. They're gonna turbine your water and the energy gonna move upward. It's a very simple technique of Hatha Yoga. And that's why chakras are there. The lower chakras represent tension, stress, and misery. Upper chakra represent health, happiness, joy. Now, where your energy is, it depends. If your energy is low all the time, you are bound to be into this stress, tension, and all this. So the work is how using this tool and creating this energetic pattern different within me, I can pull my energies up from lower chakra to upper chakras. That is the map. That's why these are there. These methods will be used so energy will not take its natural shape down. I want to create a different pattern where energy will move upward. So in this time, it's very much needed that for you, yourself, you use it, for your family member, you create it, for your students, you create it. You must know it. You must do it. It must be a continuous effort every day. You can't say, oh, I can't do, I'm done. Okay, energy goes down then. No. You have to give direction to your energy. So it's like I am taking this decision right now. That is very important. Now we come to the third step and then we will rest this talk. Otherwise, there will be no question answer. The third is yoga posture. Now, what yoga posture has to do with it? Why Patanjali is talking about all this non-violence and all the things and niyama, and then after talk about it, he's giving posture. Suddenly, because yoga postures are a way to create energetic pattern from downward to upward. Yoga posture do that. Whatever I'm talking to you, this all can be created through the yoga posture if we know how to properly use them. Now I'm telling you simply that energy has to move from lower to upward, because lower energy is violence, upper energy is non-violence. Below the navel is violence, above the navel is non-violence. Below the navel is lie, above the navel is truth. When it comes to the heart and upward. Below the navel is asteya, which we call like not finding your expression, just living in misery. Finding your expression, energy move upward. The third one. The fourth one is expansion of life, brahmacharya. If I'm contracted, energy is below the navel. If I am expanding, energy is coming to heart and upward. Please understood this map, because then I know how to use it. And then there is niyama, purity. When I am in pure state, I am below the navel. When I am pure state, I am above the navel. When I am miserable, I am below the navel. When I am happy, I am above the navel. It has nothing to do with anything, where your energy is. That is important. So niyama, purification, is a complex person, miserable person. Simple person is a happy person. Please link it. You're gonna find some beauty in yoga. Wow, such a method to use, such a method. Wow. And then we have swadhyaya, self-study. Self-study means you are getting aware about your pattern. A person who is unconscious is below the navel. A person who starts becoming aware about the pattern is coming above the navel, towards the heart, towards the throat, towards the seven chakra. And then surrender. A person who live in complaints live in the lower chakras. A person who live in surrender, all is okay, start living in higher chakras. If this is clear, everyone, because then you will understand the postures. Posture is a very big science. It's very hard to explain in few moments. But I just want to tell you that all these yoga postures, okay, I want to bring my student energy upward. What I will do? Backward bend, because backward bend pull the energy on the heart. So it's a state from violence to non-violence. I'm bringing my student to a higher state. From misery to happiness when the heart is open. And they have a very vast thing to talk about, which I'm not going into much details because a lot to understand in that. Then I want my student energy to be blissful. I will give them inversion because total pattern from the first chakra energy is going to bound to the seventh chakra. So all whatever Patanjali is saying in the niyama and niyama, that will be very easy when I do my posture practice daily. And I create my practice according to that. And remember, yoga posture should not be forceful. If you are forcing yourself into yoga, you will not get these benefits. That will be gymnast, which gymnasts don't get the benefit of yoga because they create more trouble for their body, pushing and pulling themselves. It's a very complex subject. A yoga posture must be stable and comfortable, not a wrestling. If you are doing wrestling, this is not going to happen what I'm going to say you. Not at all. It has to be very stable, very comfortable, and with the awareness you are not forcing yourself. What about Ashtanga? See, things are there, so I will say that you use your understanding to know if you are pushing yourself, actually you are creating more blocks in the body. Because now also it has been said in the latest science discovery, if you force your muscle become tight. They don't open. You block them. So the moment you release your muscle with the breath and stay easy, muscle open. It releases the emotion. So one thing is that you have to be aware, understood how to use this yoga posture for that. Second, I'm coming to pranayama. Pranayama also has a same chapter. Kapalabhati work on navel. The stagnant energy has to move. Bhastrika move upper energy. That now this stagnant energy which I move with Kapalabhati, with Bhastrika, that energy move upward now. And when I do humming bee sound, the energy is moving upward again. So I'm leading my student and myself from violence to non-violence, from misery to happiness through this Hatha Yoga map now. Hope something is getting clear to you, that practicality, how in this time I can use it. So this is the way to use yoga posture. This is the way to use pranayama. And then there are another step we call pratyahara, coming home. Once this step will happen, you will find out, like when you do a yoga posture and you do yoga breathing right, in that moment a sense of ease will happen. You are returning back to your body. Now, what we have talked in yama and niyama, here we are practically doing. Now, what is pratyahara? Mean once you have done your practice, your breathing, or whenever you it needed, you close your eyes and you be aware about your listening. You're listening right now. Be aware about it. Whatever I'm saying, just be aware about it. Don't try to find out any meaning. Just let my voice to be in your ears, and you are aware about it, that my voice is entering your ear. You come back home. You are with your listening. It brings you back into this moment. You are eating something. We need to take the help of the senses. You are eating your food. Close your eyes, and after eating, be aware about the taste. Taste will bring you back to your home, to your reality, presence. So these things practically can be used then through some music, through some food, or actually whatever you are doing, it can be a practice for your pratyahara. Whatever you are doing. Like right now, I will say, bring your both hand on the top of the head and feel the touch of your hand to your head. Sense it. Feel the touch. All right, slowly take the hand down. For a moment, you come back your home within the body because mind was taking me all the time out of home. Anything. You are lying down, lie down, feel the touch your hand with your cheek. You are practicing pratyahara, returning home, using your senses. Is it clear to everyone? So what I want to say that in the end, before going to question answer, one thing is very important, that you trust in this process. If you don't trust in the process never works. That is the first condition. You understood it logically and you know that the whole map is clear. Now be in the trust with this map that I am going to practice this map. Second, you have to put your total energy into it. Half energy will not work. 50% energy will not work. I have to be total with this process. So two conditions, be total with it. Hmm? And the third is, whenever I am doing this process, I remember myself doing it. I remember it, that I am doing it. That remembrance of myself doing it. That is the third condition. Remind yourself that you are practicing your yoga pose on the mat. Yes, I am doing it. Remember it. Remember when you're doing some breathing thing, or whenever you are, just remember yourself that yes, I'm here doing it. That will give a good ground to enter into the process for the success of the process. If you have any question, you ask me later on, but when you start this process, then there should not be any question like that if it does not work. Then it will not work. Ask your question all, whatever is, we will have time. But once you started it, then bring a non-questioning mind there. It's okay. I understood it. Now let my mind to be aside and let me put myself into my practice. Then practice, practice, practice. Non-questioning mind is very important for the success. If you have a question, ask them. You make them clear. But once you enter into the process, then okay, it's done. And then you will find a light within yourself, that you are becoming light to yourself, that okay, I can deal, I can handle, I know what to do with my body, I know what to do with my mind through breath, I know what tools I'm going to use to handle my emotions then. A simple tool is whenever you want to handle your emotion, just inhale, hold the breath for 3 seconds. Then exhale, hold the breath for 3 seconds. 10 minutes go like that. Whatever emotion there, it will come down. It's a very simple process in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Or chanting Om. Om is the best. You are finding that your body is not right. You're finding your mind is not right. Emotions are not. Sit down, close your eyes, and 10 minutes. Om. Om is a medicine in yoga. Or even you have a chanting of Om, put it on the laptop or phone, close your eyes and start listening the Om. 1 hour listening the Om lying down will give you a very peaceful state because it work on your sound therapy, vibrations. So whatever help is needed, take it. If you need a gong, ring the gong. That is also Om and listen to it. So in this time, we must find out whatever I have, I must take a help from it. So once all this process has happened with trust, with total energy, with you reminding yourself, and then you will find a light is taking birth in you, which is not only guiding you, it will guide all around you. That power yoga have, it is, I am handling this myself with help of yoga. That's why I'm sharing with all of you with the authority of that I know it works. It works so beautifully. Okay, sometime I don't feel good. What I do, put my mat down. I create a very gentle practice. After a practice of 20 minutes, oh my God, I'm okay. Okay, I'm not empty stomach, still my something going on. Close my eyes, chant Om. If I have eaten food, but I can't do anything, no problem. Pratyahara, bring myself back to the body. So whether posture help, either pranayama help, either meditation help, either sound help. So there is a whole map has to be used in this time for the well-being of yourself, well-being of your family, well-being of your friend and your student, or whoever you can help, maybe your neighbor. Hope this will be a help for all of us. So if you have any question now, you can please ask. Yes, Karin.
Hello, Deep. Thank you so much for today for the lecture. It's so helpful. It's like you written all your speech for me today. It's exactly what I needed. So thank you so much. And of course, I have a question. When you said that even if you have to fake it, do it. So I have a problem with that because fake it, it's like lying. So you know how I understand what you are saying, but how to do something without lying, in being authentic.
See, my dear, you are authentic to create a change. You want to change this. You are authentic to change it. And you are not lying because there is a stress. That stress is also lying to you because it's unnecessary.
In which way?
There is no situation. Understand it?
Yeah.
The fact is, this is the thing like that. Okay? The fact is, this situation is this. Even stress is coming. What stress can help me? If stress can be any help? So stress is the biggest lie of the mind. And I want to create authentic change. So I create something opposite of it now.
I understand. Thank you.
But not denying the stress. I accept the stress. I accept. Now, who accepts the stress, that is real. And making a change from that state of acceptance is you are actually bringing yourself to a state which is good for your body. You know that this stress is not good for your body. So it means you are violent to yourself. You must change it. Got it, my dear?
Yes, thank you so much. And I hope you will do this kind of lecture more and more and more. It's so useful. Thank you so much.
Yes, my dear ones, if anyone have any question regarding what we have talked regarding yoga, so you can actually start this process with total trust. So good. Yes, Violeta.
Hi, Master. I actually, yeah, I actually just want to thank you because what happened to me in December, I went through the virus, this modern COVID thing and everything. And when I was listening to you right now, I realized that actually I went through all this, which you just talk about. And it was not that, so big problem for me. I use everything. I also, when you say you can sing, I also sang to the virus once because I was so much, oh my God, I want this thing to go finally. So I really want to thank you. And my conclusion was that I was a good student and actually you made me a good teacher. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Violeta. I'm happy. I'm happy. Share it with others now.
I just do this right now. Yes, I do this to my classes and all my students, and they keep asking questions because a lot of people are very scared of this virus. And I'm really, I'm so happy that I can help. Thank you so much.
We have a question from Mandeep. You have asked Ashtanga series. My dear, Ashtanga is just from last 60 years and yoga is from 5,000 years. So yoga, Ashtanga come just right now, 60 years before. So I would like you to find it out what Patanjali said yoga is and what happening on the name of yoga. Please find it out by yourself, okay? Find it out. Is it stable? Is it comfortable? Is the breath is easy? Yes. So if on that ground, whatever you are doing is right, even you are doing Ashtanga on this ground, that's stable and comfortable. If breath is disturbed, body is pushed, brain is tense, after that seems like I have forced myself, it means I need to rethink. Okay. Yes. What else? Some question is there, please.
Deep.
Yes, Joyce.
I don't want to ask anything, but I just want to tell you thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Every single moment you say something, and like when I registered for the session, I was not expecting this kind of conversation. However, everything you mentioned is exactly what I needed to hear. You have an amazing way of connecting everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Yes, good, Josh. Same here. Energy below navels are negative, but vital force or basic energy to be channeled upward to higher chakra. Yes. See, in Hatha Yoga, the first center is related to survival. Survival is good, we need it. And the second is the power. The third is the power chakra. Just a moment. Hatha. I will come to that question. Let me answer this one first. So, let's say the first chakra is the chakra of survival, and the fourth chakra is the chakra of sharing. Survival is important, but if only survival is there and I am killing others, putting my motive for it, cunning and cheating others for survival, actually this is the animal energy. Only when heart becomes capable of sharing, I change the pattern. Now that energy will not be, if whatever I am giving to others, in existence it is coming back to me. So that energy, understood it? Good, good. So all three chakras are related to the animal world, which is not, it is not wrong or right. Please understand it. It is not wrong or right. The energies there will be downward, and all the time the mind will keep moving on with them unless the energy start moving upward. Okay, clear everyone? So what is the next question? How do you think Samadhi? We will talk about samadhis. Right now it was all about how we can take care, because samadhi is only then when at least the human is settled a little bit there and can give time there, Mara. But I will just little bit talk about samadhi. Samadhi means, let me say according to my master, he used to say samadhi means a non-questioning mind. A non-questioning mind. When there is no question from the life, why? You live in actually samadhi. Whatever happens, you accept it and you live it. Are you getting me?
What do you mean by questioning of the mind? Means we don't question what we are receiving, or we don't question life only?
You don't question the life at all, that why this is.
Okay. Okay.
It means a total state of surrender is samadhi. When okay, I will give you one example for samadhi because it is a very big thing. I am also talking, but I am still into the process, I can say. And it's a big thing what I'm going to say, because samadhi is the ultimate state. It has been said when in the old time, the people were crucifying the Jesus. So Jesus was crucified and such a pain and problem, and Jesus is going to die. Jesus said, "Oh Lord, forgive them because they don't know what they are doing." Now, this is the statement of a person who is in samadhi. And yoga is a whole process to be in that state, that one day God come to take you, you said, thank you. Or whatever situation is coming onto you, you know, either we stress about it or don't stress about it, is going to change. But the person who is in samadhi will join the palm and will accept it with gratitude, which Jesus did. He accepted it with gratitude. Now that is a non-questioning mind from the life. Got it, Ola?
It's just because I question information. I thought you're talking about that, but no, life
So
will
this
not
is-
question it.
No, you
Yeah.
must question your own mind. Question your own mind, that why you are tense.
Yes.
Question
Yes.
your own mind, why it's creating all these situations. But what life is giving you, which is not in your
Yes.
hand, if you can have a
Yes.
non-question mind and acceptance towards that life,
Yeah.
then you are entering into the state of samadhi step by step.
Yes. Thank you.
Hope it will give some clarity.
Thank you.
Yes, cessation of mind. Like when I really live in gratitude, I am out of my mind, because mind cannot live in gratitude. Mind live in complaint. The moment you do gratitude, thank you, you enter into your soul. It's very simple. You say wholeheartedly thank you, actually you enter into your soul. A complaint comes, you enter into the mind. Oh, that is a big topic, my dear. We'll talk about this as well, Helen. It's a big topic. I can only simply say that there are negative emotions which we suppress. They goes into the hips and belly. Positive emotion, if I suppress, they goes to the heart. So you must know how to use this posture to release this energy which is blocked, so the energy can flow upward easily. Got it?
Where can I get more information for the details that we can't cover just now? Have you written a book, or is there something that a course that you do that I can go into more depth with the postures for the sutras, for the yamas, the niyamas, and to bring it together for me?
This session was just to help in that way. Okay, please make sure I'm not doing marketing here. But yoga therapy is the course where we go into these things.
Let me say it. I'll tell her. I'll tell her.
I wanted to know.
You have to do the yoga teacher training with him. If you do the 200,
then 200 hours.
You did it. Yeah.
But that was the training was for the was brilliant for alignment, for so many things, but to connect the teachings of the Jet for the philosophy to the individual yoga postures to bring about. I mean, Deepak was talking about obviously back bends draw energy to the heart, but just the sutras that we've been covering just now, and Deep was saying there are individual postures for each sutra. And so I want to know the course for me for that.
We actually, in 200 hours, there's no enough time to cover it. So we do it in our yoga therapy course, 50 hours. This is all, we enter into this subject then.
Okay, yoga therapy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Any other question if you have?
Could you talk about the 50 hours? I know you say it's not marketing, but I have been following you, and I would like to. I saw the people write that it's amazing. Could you just share a little bit out of the marketing? Thank you.
You want me to talk about a yoga therapy course?
Yes, about the course. Just a little bit.
So actually in yoga therapy, we enter into the postures which are very basic and healing. They are not advanced postures, they are super basic postures, but they work very well on to take care of these all emotional aspects. Especially we work in the yoga therapy, especially there is emotion worry, which is with the earth element. We work on that. Then we work on fear, which is in the kidney. I'm just giving an idea about that. Then the grief, which takes place in the lungs. And then we understand a particular emotion, and then we found out that, okay, these organs, which are the storage place of this, now what kind of practices you can be, will be helpful to work on them first. That is the thing. And then we particular work on the structure of a human being, because structure of a human being tells a lot about a human being. So if my structure is not right, like if my shoulders are imbalanced, my hips are imbalanced, my pelvic is not balanced, my knees are not in right condition, and like simple thing, if my ribs are poking forward and I'm in interior tilt, that will actually give more emphasis that grief and fear will take place very easily in a person. Let me tell you, people whose chest is too much forward and pelvic got interior, grief and fear, they bound to have these two emotions very easy. You understood it? So first we work on the structural also. Then we create a balance in the structure through those postures. Then we work on the emotional, and we work on the emotion with the electrical system. What is electric system? Like your breath, your thoughts, your feelings, and then how they are connected with your whole spine. So this all subject is there: structural balancing, then this nervous system balancing, then this emotion balancing, and we use Qigong also, we use yoga also, we use breathing technique also to find that, okay, if these states are there, what practice will work on them? Like I want to work on grief. What kind of yoga practice I can do for that? So then we enter into this subject and we create a whole atmosphere where you can create a sequence and you can work on a grief. You can work on a fear. Like I can work on my irritability. A person is irritated simply, very easily. Where it is, which organ is going to be damaged through it. So this all we cover into that. Yes, this course is online. It's yes, that is online yoga therapy course happening next month.
Hey, Deep, I had a quick question. So in that course, I was really interested actually to take it. I'm not a yoga teacher at all, but have been following for a while and my friends have been visiting your course. I just wanted to know, during this course of the yoga therapy, just teaching the postures and like the philosophy and all what's behind that, do you also then like have a class with everyone, like that we do like a full flow just to show, or is it just individually?
We do flow also, because like a 3 hours, there is a flow, there is a learning, and then there is a way of working on emotion and then philosophy.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Like we work on the practice. Let's say that I'm going to work on structure lower back. So there will be lower back, and with the lower back, fear is also related. So then a gentle practice, maybe 20 minutes, which how simply I can deal with it. What sound I can use for it.
Awesome.
So we go for that flow in the starting.
Thank you.
Any question regarding what is your practice you have understood and you have to, I really want one thing from all of you: when you go onto your mat with this understanding, please have full trust on it. I don't want any question to be left, that your mind creating any question, should I, should not. So you can be totally relaxed that I am going to follow it. Okay, everyone? All right, then, good.
So let's
let's sit down for a moment together. And with the closed eyes, slowly bring your whole attention gently to the top of the head. And inhale and feel the breath is going to the top of the head. And your diaphragm is also working with the breath. Every inhalation to the top of the head. And every exhalation is also happening from the top of the head with attention, but belly is also getting used. Eyes are relaxed. Face is relaxed. It's just a gentle awareness on the top of the head. And join your palms in front of your heart. First say thank you to your body. And thank you to your breath. Thank you to your mind. Thank you to your heart. And a silent thank you, silent, to your own soul. Namaste to all of you. Thank you so much for joining and coming and listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Have a
Deep.
beautiful time. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Deep.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Deep. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Deep.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deep.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. It was so nice to see you.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy. Have a beautiful time. Enjoy. Thank you. Thank you to all of you.